top of my Freeform Renegades. You are tuned into the Freeform Network. Thanks for joining us for another fun episode of Freeform Radio. I'm your host, Noel, with my co host, as always, Daniel.
Yes, sir. Over here chilling, man. It's getting chilly outside, and I don't like it, man. I wish it would stay a little warmer.
I hear you. And Andy.
It's all good, Andy. We're here to take your ears off and see what's going on.
Yeah, well, like Daniel said, it's another beautiful day here in Chicago. A little crisp, a little cool, bet. Wherever you listeners are, we hope you're sitting good, feeling good. And we're going to get started on this show today. So, Daniel, I'm actually interested to see what you have to say about this. It looks like you started rewatching Lost, the classic show, man.
Yeah, I actually heard a podcast talking about it, about just rewatching the first two seasons, and they had already seen the entirety of the show, and kind of just watching it, knowing some of the parts that are going to happen, and how much better it is, kind of seeing the little seeds that the show plants as far as the overall plot point. And so it got me interested, and I'm like, you know what, man, let me go back and watch it. I got Hulu. Let me watch Lost, and I started watching it, and at first I was okay. I was just like, yeah, this is okay. I still remember why I liked it. And now the more and more it gets into the lunacy of it, I'm starting to get like really deep in it. I'm almost done with season one, and I'm about to start season two soon. And it's got its hooks into me, man. Which I don't know, man. I'm watching so many things right now that I don't know if I can continue watching this with everything else that I'm watching. But yeah, it's good rewatching it. You've seen it before, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, I finished the whole show maybe like 5 to 10 years ago. Um, I I really liked it up till the very end, and I thought like it was more like the writers couldn't really realize how to finish it off, and they just
Right.
kind of did a little quick thing, and it wasn't like terrible. I didn't hate the ending, but I was just like, I thought it would have been different. But ultimately, I still, like the show, and I like, I don't regret watching it for at all.
Did you ever see that, Andy?
Nah, I mean, I knew people that watched it. There used to be a coworker where we worked. I think when it jumped on Netflix, he got like really into it. But everything that I've read and heard, I mean, I watched an episode or two. It wasn't my shit. But I think it kind of peaked like maybe towards the end of season 2 to 3. Then after that, it was just like the knock wasn't it. They really didn't know how to end the show, right? And then like the other thing, the others or something, right? Something like that he would talk about, and I'm just like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't watch this shit. But that's the only thing I know of it. This guy was really into it, and he binge watched it all like on Netflix or something.
But do you do know of it? I mean, what was one of some of the reasons why you didn't want to watch it or didn't watch it?
What was it, like the plane crashed on a fucking island,
Right.
and people started speculating like they're fucking dreaming or they're aliens. And I watched an episode. It was like back and forth from like before they got on the plane and stuff. It was just like I didn't like it. I just didn't like it.
Okay.
It's not the story wise. I not that it was it wasn't predictable. It was just like where the fuck is this gonna go? It kind of like with Walking Dead. Like I got really into it, but after like 7, 8 seasons, it's like where the fuck is this going? It's just like the same shit's getting repeated, and I feel like that was kind of the formula with Lost. I know at the end they were trying to wrap it up, but I've read and people complain about it, and I'm no spoilers. I didn't see it, but they felt like everything was just like we got to wrap this shit up, and they didn't know how to wrap it up.
Right, right. To be honest, I watched it so long ago that I don't really even remember all the plot points towards the end. I remember like the first two seasons very well, but I think you're right. I think it probably peaked like around the third season or so, and then after that, it kind of was just more of the same, or maybe more ridiculous to the point where it
Yeah.
maybe lost some viewers. So I don't quite remember all the plot points. I do remember like these high points. But I don't know. I'll see how long I watch it. I would assume I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but like I mentioned a week or so ago, a few weeks ago, Quantum Leap. I was trying to watch that, and so I'm trying to watch that, and then I'm trying to watch a few other shows with Alana. So it's becoming a little much as far as how many shows we're juggling at the same
You're
time.
like, and winter hasn't even started yet, man.
So I don't know. But it's hooks in me. It's really interesting. I remember all the little plot twists and oh yeah, there's Locke and then there's this guy from Party of Five, and it's just like it was cool jumping back in and seeing some of the things, knowing what's gonna happen in the coming episodes. So
But right now, it's holding up. No matter what is it, it's over 10 years old, so like it's still holding up. Got you intrigued, and you're like, I want to watch it, but you know
yeah,
there's gonna be like a drop off. You're
right.
anticipating
I,
it.
I, I kind of recall that, but yeah, for now I'm still watching. I would assume I'm gonna watch at least 2 3 seasons maybe, and then we'll see how it goes. But um, yeah, man, I don't mind the flashback Pulp Fiction style thing where you see a little bit of the present and you flash back to the past. I kind of dig that just because it gives some content to what and why the character is the way he is, and you see that the guy is really mean to people because his father abused him, or he's really shyish because XYZ happened in their past, and so it just gives a lot of content to what and why the characters are the way they are. So yeah, we'll see if I keep watching it. Something that I did finish, Andy, was Better Call Saul, and I know you like using that as your upper line. Saul Goodman. Uh, there's an episode where that's the reason why he comes up, spoilers, with his last name, Saul Goodman, is that it's Saul Goodman, and so he just chains it together and makes his name, the character name, Saul Goodman. And it's a really cool show, man. I think this is probably one of the better spin-off episodes, not like Three's Companies and then the Ropers kind of spin-off. This is a good
Wow,
this
what
is
a
a good
comparison
this is a good spin-off.
from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, to the comparing it to Three's Company and the Ropers.
Right,
And
right.
Three's Companies had that after show, Three's a Crowd or something. I don't know if you knew
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. No, what is it?
Where
Three.
Jack got married and he runs a
Yeah,
restaurant.
right.
Yeah,
But I think it still had Three's Companies, a crowd, or
yeah,
wasn't
Three's
it?
a Crowd.
Was it just
Three,
Three's a crowd?
I
three's a crowd.
believe so. I believe so. I don't. I remember it's just his wife, and his father-in-law bickering or whatever.
Right, right. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. But then that got kind of a little repetitive as well. But yeah, Better Call Saul, man. All you Breaking Bad fans out there, man, you got to watch this thing, man. This thing is such a great show. I would even say pretty close to toppling Breaking Bad. That's how good this is. The character,
Really?
yeah, the
Yeah.
character is just really strong. He's a Chicago native, so to me, it like makes it even better. So I really dug the show. I think they didn't overstay their welcome, maybe to like where Lost maybe kind of stretched it too long, and some of these other shows go into like 7 8 seasons, and it's just way too long. This show is great size. I could probably even take one more season. That's how good it was. But if you didn't like the way Lost does their Back in the Future stuff, Better Call Saul does the same thing where they have these black and white montages where it shows things that happened in the future. It's the opposite where the color stuff is in the past and the stuff that's happening in the present is the stuff in black and white. So really unique way of showing the film. Really cool season. Have you seen it, Noel, or are you interested in it?
I've seen up to the last season, so the one that came out this year, like the second part or what, first and second parts, I have
Right.
not seen yet. But
Okay.
up to that, I've seen, and I have it all ready to go. I just haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited, man. So is the ending like really good? Was it well done?
The ending to me left me satisfied where I'm like, okay, yes, I can see that being the ending. You always have illusions in your head of how you want these characters because you become so endeared with them and you're like, man, I really, even though he's a sneaky sly guy, this Saul Goodman, you still,
Cicero Eddie.
yeah, you still kind of feel like you want him to get, you want him to come out the winner. And I think the way the show ends is definitely fitting, and it was good. I liked it. Have you seen it, Andy? I mean, I know
Yeah,
you saw Better Call Saul.
I watched up to I think I'm 2 seasons behind. Um it's on my watch list. Just I want to watch it, and when I read this year they're ending it, I was just like, I gotta catch up because it was what I remember. It was a good show. Um and I like overall the characters were solid, so it was well written. I liked it a lot. I just gotta catch up with it.
Yeah, you were mentioning something, Noel?
No, yeah, it's just he's a flawed character, and I think he has like bouts of redemption, and you could tell he's like just a solid. He's a good guy deep down, but he's surrounded by flawed, character traits. So like you kind of root for him and trying to get him to become a better person, and he does in certain seasons. You see like, while he does some shady shit, at the end of the day, like he's not a bad guy.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's perfect. He does have that good person inside of him, but he always does it in a sneaky, conniving way that's funny and endearing at the same time. So
And
great show, man. For people that liked Breaking Bad and maybe slept on Camino the movie and slept on this Better Call
Did you
Saul
like the
show.
movie? I thought
I
the movie wasn't bad, and I they did what they could with the Pinkman character. I thought it was a decent movie. I wasn't disappointed with it.
Yeah, I don't think it was great, like the Better Call Saul TV show, but it was definitely serviceable and it was good. I enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen El Camino in a while, but I liked watching what happened afterwards because it does leave you guessing. What happens after it fades to black. Soprano style. What's the ending after the ending? But yeah, man, not too much else going on. I beat Far Cry 6, the last Far Cry that just came out. It was a good Far Cry game. It was more of Far Cry, but better graphics, better environments, better everything. And it took place in like a fictional Cuba, and the main protagonist is actually from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't
The
remember
chicken guy.
his yeah, I don't remember his actual actor name, but
Esposito, I can't remember his
yeah,
first name though, but yeah.
isn't it Gus, or Gus is the character he plays? Yeah, Esposito, whatever. It plays. It looks just like him on the video game, but he just doesn't have enough screen time, I would say, in the video game. So you see him there, you see his good acting, you see him as a character. He plays the character very well because he's like the bad guy of the game. But I just don't think he has enough screen time to show a really good presence. But I liked it, man. I liked the game. I 100%ed everything that I can do in it. There was like some DLC stuff that I didn't touch, and like some multiplayer stuff that I didn't do. But I did like it. I just don't know how many more times Far Cry can do this, as far as this, cast a new bad guy and then just throw you into this world kind of thing. I got a feeling like it's going to start getting Assassin's Creed problems where you just have too many of these in a row and you don't reinvent it enough. So my guess is the next Far Cry is going to hopefully be a little bit different to keep the series fresh and keep fans engaged. But yeah, I'm not.
Franchise.
Yeah. I like them. I mean, I've played. I don't recall playing part 1 or 2, but I know part 3 for sure, and all the way to 6. I've played them all, except the primal one that they had that like side where you're like a caveman kind of thing. I didn't beat that. I didn't play that one.
That one
But
sounds cool. You fight dinosaurs and shit.
I didn't play it. I saw Ephraim played it. Now this is back, whenever it came out, 5-10 years ago. And I asked him, and he said that he really dug it. And it did get me intrigued, but every time I would see a trailer, I'm like, I don't know, it looks kind of slow. I don't know if I'm interested in just like jumping around the forest, hunting for dinosaurs and lizards and whatever else you have to do. So it didn't really call to me because it looked a little slow moving, especially
Didn't
without guns and stuff.
didn't they have a cartel one? Or am I thinking of a different game where you recommend on the PS3? Like there was like, was it Far Cry Cartel or was it a different franchise or a different game? That ring a
For
bell?
for Far Cry, no, the one before this was the like David Koresh, where there's like
The Compound or
the
whatever.
compound thing where
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
kind of like the leader of his town, and he's a really evangelist.
Wasn't that one? I don't remember.
But yeah, no, I can't remember any kind of cartel drug. I mean, this one definitely has a lot of drugs in it, just because the whole premise is that this fictional Cuba has the cure to cancer, and so everybody else in the world wants this cure. So it's this guy really exploiting his citizens to build this new drug so that they can sell it to the highest bidder
Okay.
around the world. But
I'm
really
sorry
cool.
then. It is called Call of Juarez, the Cartel. It's an Ubisoft game.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the one you recommended. That's why I'm like, because Ubisoft makes
Far Cry, right?
right. That's why. Okay, that's the one you recommended. I got it mixed up.
But yeah, cool game. I liked it. I don't know if I'm at like the end of like this style of game. They probably have to reinvent it a little bit for 7, or just have like a totally different location that kind of mixes the series up. But I enjoyed it. But why don't we get over to something that maybe people aren't enjoying, and that's the Illinois governor's debate. Andy, fill us in, man. I see these commercials all the time, and these guys keep texting me. I don't know how they got my number, but they keep texting me to vote for them. So fill us in on your thoughts, man.
Well, I didn't know. Like I wish I could be binge watching shows, but real life always gets my attention. And I don't know how much. I mean, we're in Illinois, Chicagoland area. People, we had our first of 2 governor debates. I think it was Thursday.
Yeah,
Did
Thursday.
anybody even know about it? I mean, I didn't know about it until I was like on Twitter and someone was talking about it.
Yeah, I did. We did. Me and Alana were watching the news, and we heard about it. But unfortunately, we didn't tune in, so it wasn't until the next day that I saw some of the highlights.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube next Friday morning. I took an hour of my time with some coffee, and I'm like, and like, well, the gist of it is the states, they basically just kept calling each other liars,
Right.
and uh, Pritzker, I mean, I'm not Pritzker. I'll give him his props. He handled the COVID somewhat decent, and he got a lot of money. He did pay a lot of shit off, but it's still the budget's still out of whack, and he did raise taxes and all that. But it's the guy that he just kept saying the same things. Crime, like crime, is a big problem here in Illinois right now. Taxes, or property taxes, because I don't know how much you know this. I mean, people who own homes, 60% of your property taxes fund schools, and I think the rest is like pensions and other shit, and like police shit. And then the third is the abortion stuff. But I think the guy running against Pritzker Bailey kind of conceded like there's nothing I could do on abortion. It is what it is. Um, but I felt like Bailey won. I mean, because Pritzker, they asked him some direct questions and he didn't really answer them. I mean, I don't know if you saw that. Then they asked him, "Are you going to run for president or be?" He didn't. He didn't say no. He just says, "My plan is to. My plan is to be working here as governor. Like that's his plan." Like that was no commitment, you know. And Bailey's like, "This guy's gonna run. Like, dude, this guy's gonna leave us and leave us this mess." And just what's going on in Chicago, Chicagoland. We all seen the commercials. They're scaring us with the crime. Then that new law that passed or whatever, the legislation, the Safety Act. that Pritzker kind of backtracked on that. He does now admit they're gonna go look at it, and maybe they need to change some language and some other stuff exactly what to see. Because well, Bailey said the state attorneys for the counties, there's 102 counties, 100 of them signed this thing saying like this is fucked up. We got to repeal this or change it or something.
Right. Well, it actually it's been passed, but it takes effect the beginning of
In
next year.
January. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's why they're saying they want to repeal it, and everybody's worried what's going to happen in the New Year's Day. You had some sheriffs come out and say like our hands are kind of tied, and Pritzker, like I said, he admitted there was some issues with the verbiage, and he wants to work with the legislation. I like how he puts the state assemblies like we got to work with them to do all this shit, and um, but that's the big three right now. And the other thing is people are leaving Illinois, and he just says that he created all this stuff and spent money and he spent money on like programs and stuff. And but today I don't know if you noticed, they broke news that Tyson is leaving. Their corporate offices here are leaving. They're going back to Arkansas. They're in Downers Grove, and that's like taking all these high-paying jobs with them. And one of the reasons they claim is not like a business-friendly environment. The two is that they're scared about worker safety when they go into the city of Chicago.
Right. Right. No, man. I don't know if people are secret Pritzker fans, but I've been seeing a lot more Bailey signs as I drive around. Now, granted, I live in Lake County, so there are a lot of Republicans out here. But even just as soon as yesterday, when I drove back to the neighborhood, visiting some family, I saw a bunch of Bailey signs, and I didn't quite see almost any Pritzker fans signs. So I don't know. Maybe Bailey does have a chance. I didn't think so. I was just like, Pritzker's got this. There's no way
Well,
a Republican's going to win here. I think Pritzker's got it probably hands down.
the big polls say he has like a 10-point lead, and I've read other polls say he's closed it down to 5. So I think he gets a big chunk of the state. The problem is he needs to get Cook County. I don't know how successful that's going to be because he did run into some issues with the union, the union issues that because of all the government jobs, and Cook County is like a big union county, and then parts of like DuPage and all that. And I don't think it all matters how well he does there, but I don't know. Like some of the stuff that was coming out of there. I don't want to sound doom and gloom, but I mean I don't know what else to take it because it's an expensive state. It's not business friendly. We're taxed on a lot of items that other states don't get taxed on. And then I think Bailey mentioned something every gallon. I think something like 30. I believe he said 34 cents is state tax on 1 gallon. So to me, it's like a shitload. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm trying to see. I know the elections are coming up. I don't know. I got to see. I'm not really convinced on Bailey, but I mean the other thing is Pritzker. It's like the devil and I don't know what where to lean to.
Hey, did you guys get a tax credit recently? A check?
Nah, man, I'm rich.
I did see something come in the mail as far as a state credit that's coming, depending on how many dependents and this and that. So I
Yeah,
did see something in the mail.
yeah. I got a postcard. Right, they're like
Right.
you're gonna get a credit. So I don't know if that's like a tax credit. Ain't like a check's coming. I
I
did
see.
hear other people where I work say they got direct deposits
Yeah,
like
see,
of
I
like
got a check
$300.
recently. Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
check recently, so I was
yeah.
curious. I'm like, is anybody else getting this? I asked around, no one else. I'm like, what the fuck? But I
I'm a
looked it
one
up
percenter,
yesterday,
man.
and oh, good for you, man. And Pritzker said that, yeah, or I guess Pritzker passed something where they're giving credits out 50 to single filers, 100 to joint filers, and all the other stuff like you said, dependents and all that.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's the same thing as the postcard that Andy's mentioning. I haven't looked into my account, so maybe it sneak deposited on there, and I haven't really noticed it.
I'm
But
I'm still waiting on my Facebook check from that fucking bullshit. I'm part of this lawsuit and my old mortgage company. I'm waiting for a check from them. Waiting on this check from Biden and Pritzker. And so they're handing out money right and left. That's how you know Democrats are in power. So, but yeah, I ain't getting shit. That means I'm fucking rich, I guess.
damn right, Andy, you're rich.
Help me out, damn shit, man. After this disappointing White Sox season, man, what the fuck? So yeah, LaRusso stepped down. It was like really wasn't in the news because people are like, "Fuck this guy." I know he's a Hall of Famer, but I think he kind of just messed up this whole season. Um, and now baseball postseason started, and it's just going back to the White Sox. I remember I think we did an episode or two where I talked about big expectations for the White Sox after last year, and this year just they couldn't fucking string anything together. They got injured. The manager was kind of fucking up. He couldn't manage the pitching. Um, it's just a long fucking season. I remember calling in June, talking to people at work. They should fire LaRusso, and the guy had to step away. I don't think they wanted to fire him, but it's just a long, disappointing season. And I think your Abreu's gonna leave. I think he's a free agent, so he's gonna get paid. He's probably gonna go to the fucking Yankees or something, or the Angels, and then it's see what the fuck they're gonna do, how they're gonna rebuild this team, or they're gonna just fucking just start trading everybody away and restart again. That's I think they have a couple of core people here, but I'm starting to notice some of their core players get fucking injury prone. Eloy, Tim Anderson, Mancada,
Right,
and then their pitching's always been like you hope to get three quality starters, which I think they do. It's just they had a couple, two other ones get hurt, Hendricks and all that, and it's just I don't know. I think the injury bug got them, and and it's always the same players that get fucking hurt.
yeah, I'm kind of sad to see Abreu leave.
I think
Uh,
he's done. Yeah,
right, I'm not by choice because I think he wants to stay with the Sox, but I think um, with so many players that they have that are injury prone, they're probably going to want to shift them into first base or into DH. And so that just means you can't carry four or five players that can't service on the field and that are DH or can only do first base because they're injury prone. So somebody's got to be out. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be Abreu. But
yeah. He's
yeah, I like him. I was hoping he was going to stick around.
he's a free agent, so he's gonna get shopped around, and I'm sure he's gonna get some big fucking offers because he's a power hitter. You know, he's good for 30 home runs plus a year and 100 RBIs. He gets on base. If you put him in both leagues, have a DH now, so I think he's gonna get like I don't think he'll get a 10-year deal, but he might get a 7-year deal where it's like close to the maybe 20 million plus a year. To be honest with you,
Right.
he's gonna get fucking paid, and the Sox they ain't gonna fucking pay him. They got the 1 year of arbitration out of him. They agreed to a number, and I think his 9 years or whatever. Once you get him, when you bring him up from the minors, you own him for that amount. I mean, he's done. He's gonna get fucking paid, and everybody knows that. Just I don't think they're gonna offer him big money. And if they do offer big money, they usually don't offer them to their guys. They go and shop around and get their own players. You know.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, it's a disappointing season on both sides of the town, and I don't know, man. They got to focus on getting a manager. I don't like their GM Ricky Hahn. Fuck him. He sucks this year, and they just need to fucking get this shit on. Just come up with a game plan. I don't know. I think they do what they always do. They get these veteran players and they mix in a couple of young guys, and then they do something, and then everybody gets excited, and then they fuck up when it gets close to the end of the season to do something. And they had a shot at the end of the year against fucking Cleveland, the Indians, and they fucked all that up. They just couldn't close. Even the interim managers, like these guys didn't come to play today. Like it's embarrassing on how they played up there. That's the interim manager. So there was something going on. I don't know if it was who was the culprit for all that in that locker room.
Yeah, it's almost like they gave up the last month here, and they didn't really have a lot of heart. I don't know if they just saw the writing in the wall. There was too much change going on. I know Tim Anderson is a big part of that clubhouse. With him being out, I don't know if it just kind of fell apart.
But that's the time. I like Tim Anderson, but the problem with him, he's not a problem. He's super vocal, but he gets fucking. He's been injured like every fucking year. So
Yeah, that guy's gonna be like that forever now.
I'm fortunately I agree with you. I mean, it is what it is. But he's just fucking. He's been injury prone for the last 3 years, and there's been a lot of hype around him, and he's delivered a couple years. It's just he's gotten hurt. So, um, yeah, I mean, let us know what you guys think at ffnquestions@gmail.com. If you think if you had some disappointment with your baseball team this year, or the White Sox, your thought on the White Sox, or even the Cubs. I mean, there's no Cub fans here. Like, I don't know why there would be Cub fans. They suck. But let us know what you guys think about them. But that's enough for me. Enough sports talk here and gubernatorial stuff. Let's go to Noel here. I see you purchased a big piece of physical media. I like what I'm seeing here, Noel, because my thoughts on streaming is recorded on a bunch of episodes on our podcast here. What did you end up buying? I see it says collection here, Blu-ray. So things are. I'm pretty sure it's pretty heavy. The franchise, I think, that you purchased.
Yeah, man. So, Halloween's right around the corner, and I'm just like, right now there's a lot of sales for all the horror stuff. And my cousin, I was talking with him this weekend, and he was telling me about this collection, Friday the 13th, the full series. It's like 10 plus movies, and some of them are 4K remasters, some of them are 2K remasters, and it's made by this company called Shout Factory. And I didn't know much. I'm not a big. I used to be a physical media guy back in the DVD era. I want to say early 2000s. And then when Blu-rays came out, I was like, I have to buy everything again. I'm like, fuck this. And then now 4K's out, and it's like I have to buy everything again. It's like, nah, dude. But the thing is, I have a special place in my heart for Friday the 13th. Growing up, I have three older brothers, so they all showed me movies, that they would like, and I would watch them with them, and including the horror movies we had on the Sony Betamax back in the 80s and
You
90s. So Friday the 13th, man, that was one of the first horror movies I got exposed to, and got to see my first teddies, and it was a great time to be alive and watch all these horror movies. So because the Shout Factory version, there's a few distributors. It looks like I don't know all the info. I'll defer to Andy for all the info on that stuff. But supposedly the Shout Factory release is like a specific release that's like has a certain like the way they remaster it in a certain way, and it comes with a certain type of box set that's like it has like a collector's like look to it, and it just it has a unique feel. It's a limited print, and once it's done, once they sell out, they're not going to reprint it. And so I've seen some of these collections, like for Halloween, for example, one of the limited prints that are sold out. You can't get it anymore. You could only buy it on like eBay or somebody that's reselling it. They sell for up to $500 now, some copies, and if it's opened and used, they still sell for like 250. So this collection I actually got it at half price because there's a sale right now at Shout Factory as well as Amazon, and so I actually bought it on Amazon because I have one of their cards, so it was like I get credit and all that shit, so it was good, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a good purchase. I mean, literally, I already doubled my money because I bought it half price. So, the day after the sale, it was the last day of the sale. So now it's already worth double what I paid for it. And then in the future, the value is only gonna go up. So this is my first start into the physical media again.
Wow, wow. So if you don't mind me asking, how much was this collector set? Because I was somewhat curious as to buying the Friday the 13th because I am a Friday the 13th, even though it gets kind of cheesy,
Yeah.
some of the movies there. But I was always a big fan of those slasher movies, even the Halloweens, Michael Myers, but maybe not as much. I was close to buying a Blu-ray set once, but man, it was just too much, and I was just like, I'm not gonna spend 100 and change to get the entire collection. But yeah, how much this thing set you back?
All right, so normally it's 160, and if it was 160, I wouldn't have done it. Like I just don't. I love it, but I'm not gonna spend 160 on physical media when I could get it, half price digitally. But because it was half price, because it's a limited release, it was $80 on sale for the whole collection. And like I said, some of them are 4K remasters. So even if I do get the digital version, it's not going to be the same to me as the official release, in 4K on a physical media. So, $80 for the whole collection. And like I said, it was half off. The next day, if you were to buy it, it'd be 160. So I literally, if I wanted to sell it, I could already make more money, double my money up.
Yeah, the set's loaded with like a bunch of extras, but it looks like the first two, three, four, the first five Friday the 13th are 4K scans from the original camera negative, and some of them have different endings.
Right.
Um, and then they would have the other ones are just like remastered. Uh, just they remaster them for 4K, and then the one that intrigues me the most is Let Me Watch is Jason X, the one where he goes to space, right?
Heck yeah, man.
It
That's
goes.
pretty
It
crazy.
has a couple docs by any means necessary. The making of Jason X, and it has electronic press kit, some TV spots, and some other stuff. And then they got Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, it's loaded with extras. So and then they have a three. One of them is a 3D. So they even said they did both 2D and 3D got remastered. So I don't know which one it is. I saw something here 3D mat remastered too. They go. Jason.
Part
The
three.
four.
Was it
Friday
four?
the 13th. I'm sorry. Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah, three is the 3D one.
It has Blu-ray 3D version of the film. And then it has they remastered both that and the 2D. So that it's a fully load. I'm on the Shout Factory. They put a lot of work into it. Even the box around it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So
I heard it's one of the better releases because there's multiple distributors, but I heard the Shout Factory is like known for being like just really high quality.
yeah, Shout is known for like we talk a little bit cult stuff, and they do really high end stuff sometimes on special collections. Like they remastered like Star Wars and G.I. Joe. They have their little thing, and then some of the other stuff, and like some obscure stuff. They're pretty good on that.
Hmm. Do you know if they remastered the Dukes of Hazard collection, man? I'm looking for that season collection kit.
I don't see Dukes of Hazard. If you see anything Dukes of Hazard, buy it before the becomes completely unavailable because it's gonna get canceled out, man.
Right, man.
Seriously, they're gonna just because of the General Lee. I
Right,
mean,
the General Lee and the Confederate flag.
yeah, they're not gonna make anything new with that shit anymore.
No, yeah, no. I was kind of like looking for some Dukes of Hazard things a few months ago, just because the whole General Lee, and I had heard the General Lee, or not the General Lee, but the theme song to Dukes of Hazard on the radio, and I was just like, oh man, I'm like, man, that was such a great TV show. Too bad that because of the Confederate flag on the car, now they can't play. Even though to me the show never represented anything racist or anything like that. It wasn't like All in the Family where it was like blatantly you could see racist themes in there. But yeah, man, it's too bad.
Yeah, the Dukes of Hazards, like you said. I mean, when it's all said and done, it was a family show. So the first season, I think, was kind of like for adults, but then they found out a lot of kids were watching it, so they changed it up. It's just a fucking car jumping over shit, getting chased by the police, and doing just dumb stuff. I mean, but overall, it was a very entertaining show, and um, I think there is a box DVD set. I don't think it's like remastered or anything like that.
Yeah, I went to Blu-ray.com. Supposedly that's like a database for all Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything but the newest, the 2005 release.
Yeah, the movies themselves. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. Warner Brothers owns all that, or Discovery now, whatever. I don't think they're ever gonna put money into remastering. Like, real quick, Star Trek. I think Next Generations got remastered. The originals gotten remastered. People are trying to get Deep Space Nine remastered and all the shows afterward. I think Enterprise was shot in HD. That's like a big thing, and Paramount said they're not gonna do that. So there's not enough people that like the shows for Voyager, Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But they'll do all the movies and shit and all everything else.
I guess they just have to rely on like fan releases, maybe.
Yeah, they did a documentary about it, and they upgraded some of the episodes, and it looks pretty sweet. But they're like, Paramount is not. They told us flat out they're not gonna do it. So unless we show them some other stuff, or there's a bigger demand than what currently there is.
But yeah, but anyway, yeah, going back to the Shout Factory. So yeah, I got that just recently. I have to wait for it though. It's gonna be like probably 2 weeks till I get it. But so that's it for Friday 13th. Actually, keeping on the track of movies, I just saw Bullet Train. It's with Brad Pitt. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's kind of like a action comedy, more on the action, but it does have comedic moments in it. It's a little bit like over the top action. Uh, have you guys heard of it at all?
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it, and it actually looked exciting. I wanted to watch it, but since I've been watching so much TV show, I haven't really had a chance to sneak it in there. But yeah, it looked exciting and cool, man. I'm gonna have to check it out. Did you like it?
Dude, I actually really enjoyed it, man. It was one of those movies where it's like a popcorn movie. You're sitting back and you're just enjoying a good, funny action movie. And Brad Pitt carried it for sure. There are some good actors in it, right? But it's just I think Brad Pitt, he's like the main character in it, so he kind of carried the whole movie. It has some famous actors though. It has the guy that played Scorpion in the newest Mortal Kombat. He's also in Lost. Um,
Okay.
yeah, he is the Japanese guy. He was in Last Samurai. He's been in a few movies, right? He's one of the main characters as well. Towards the end, you'll see him. But it has a good balance of action and comedy, and there is a story to it. It's not just action without like reason, but it does go over the top for sure, and it's pretty funny, man. And there's a scene with this freaking snake, and I'm like, is this like a reference to snakes on a plane? Because now we got a snake on a train. But it was super hilarious, man. Like I said, a lot of famous actors, a good ensemble. It's probably about almost 2 hours long. So, but it ended, on a good note. And I do recommend it. I don't want to give any spoilers. I don't want to go into detail, but it's about essentially, just to kind of summarize it, a high level like mercenary, I guess you could say. He's kind of like he's either an assassin or he's he steals something for you or whatever. He's kind of a guy for hire. That's who Brad Pitt plays. He's covering for somebody else that's sick. So somebody's on a mission, but they're sick, so they get Brad Pitt to replace them. And so last minute he comes on this train. His mission is to get this briefcase and take it off the train. And initially he finds the briefcase super quick, but getting off the train is a mission and a half. So I'll just leave it at that. It's worth watching. A lot of stuff happens. Just it's a massacre, man. It's bloody, but it's funny. It's everything you need for a good popcorn flick to pass a couple hours.
Nice, nice. Does the whole movie take place on this train?
Like 99% of it, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like there's some scenes where they're out not on the train, but yeah, the majority of it's gonna be on the train, and it sets it up really well because it's a really long, luxurious train. It's like a bullet train, obviously the name of the movie. So
Oh, that's the name of the train too? Bullet train?
yeah,
I never heard that phrase.
it's in Japan. It takes place in Japan, and they're known for
Okay.
having like really fast trains. Like it's faster than most transportation out there. Um,
Cool.
so yeah, it's really cool, and Uh, you're gonna notice a lot of characters, a lot of people you're gonna recognize, and a lot of funny moments, a lot of action, and
Angelina Jolie, she's in there.
no, no, she's not in there. There's the guy from Kick Ass. Remember the when he was young, or Quicksilver from
Oh, right,
X Men.
right. Yeah.
He's in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson is his name. The guy from Eternals is British, but I can't remember his actor's name. He's relatively new in the Hollywood, I guess. Up and coming.
Cool.
Uh, Joey King, she was in horror movies and stuff like that. You might know her. The girl from The Boys, Japanese woman from The Boys, she's in it. You got at the end, Sandra Bullock is in it. Ryan Reynolds is in it. It's got a lot of people that you're gonna recognize, and yeah, yeah, I think you're gonna like it if you guys give it a chance. And one last thing, just to say, since we're getting around here to Halloween, the new Hellraiser came out 2022. They replaced Pinhead. They made it a female character.
Boo.
I thought it might be a hit or miss, but man, surprisingly, it worked out really well. Surprisingly,
Really?
dude, it really
Okay.
worked out well. I think you should give it a chance. It's a 2-hour movie too. Surprisingly, it was a little longer than I thought it was gonna be, but the character itself worked out well. It doesn't sound like a female high pitch. It sounds like a demonic voice. So to me, it was acceptable. I was like, okay, she still seems creepy as shit, and I mean,
I
I
thought it
wasn't
was
gonna.
gonna be a TV show. It's a movie, you said?
I thought it was like on Hulu, right? Isn't it
Right.
like a
It
Hulu
is.
thing?
Yeah, yeah. If you have Hulu, you could watch it. It's the 4K is on there
Okay.
in HDR. Yeah, so it's a 2-hour movie. Obviously, bloody, gory. It is kind of cheesy. I think overall, I would give it like a 6 out of 10, 6.5 in there somewhere out of 10 because I like horror, right? And the Hellraiser franchise is like it's right up there with Friday the 13th for me. I grew up with it, and so I really like that series. I was initially disappointed they were replacing Pinhead, but honestly, after actually giving it a chance and watching it, uh, it really doesn't change too much. She's just as creepy as the original Pinhead, and her voice, like I said, is a demonic, deep voice. So it's sound, and they do kind of go more into the like sadistic, like masochist type stuff, which is like what Hellraiser's known for being.
You
So,
watching it well?
say,
Zero Cast, man.
Potato Cans, is that how you
Is
say
that
it?
the new? Is that the new Dahmer movie or what? With the miniseries or what?
Oh shit, I heard about that. I want to watch it, man. I heard I thought it was gonna be a documentary, so that's why I was like, I don't really give a fuck about
I just
documentaries.
know it created a new meme or something like we're gonna watch this, then you can leave, and people are putting all this crazy shit on there,
Yeah,
like
I
some
heard.
stuff to brutally watch.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people are like getting too into it. Like some kids want to dress up as Dahmer for Halloween. I'm like, oh man, that's like crossing the line. I think, dude. Like glorifying this guy now. It's like I don't know about that, but
But getting back to Hellraiser, obviously, Dan, you like Hellraiser and all like that. I don't know, you guys like were all of that into horror flicks real quick.
nah, that's my shit, dude. I
I
love
know,
horror.
yeah, you mentioned a little bit earlier, Danny. I didn't know that was your thing, man.
Well, I watched the original Hellraisers, and I wasn't really planning to watch this one, but just to hear that another movie got taken over, where they're recasting the main character, like Black Panther is a chick now, and it's just like, man, it's like invent your own characters, make your own hell infinity, and it's a female character, and it's got a bunch of pins coming out of their head. Invent your own shit, man. Leave the natural, the way not the natural, but the original premise of these movies
What made
alone
it
when you're
popular?
when you're
Yeah.
remaking it. Now, I'm glad to hear that it's working. So, maybe that leans credence to not all movies or TV themes that are recast with female characters in male leads are terrible. So maybe this is kind of against that. But typically, fans don't gravitate to stuff like that. They want the original recast or redone with that same theme and premise as the original.
Yeah, so like I heard somewhere originally it was supposed to be a female character anyway. In the original series, but they made it Pinhead like the male character. But then when I heard about that, I'm like, well, let me give it a chance. Maybe it'll be good. And the character, the actress that plays Pinhead, uh, who's called the Priest, right? Pinhead is considered the character's name is the Priest. I think it's Jamie Clayton. But I think she was born a biological male, transitioned into a woman. So it's kind of
Wait, what?
like she
The
was
original or
raised.
right now in this new movie?
So the actress that plays the new movie, the Hellraiser 2022, she was originally born a biological male. So she has XY chromosomes, but she identifies as a woman, and her name is Jamie Clayton.
The
And so she,
actress, not the Pinhead.
right, the actress
Yeah.
that
Okay.
plays Pinhead.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, so it's not the Pinhead lore that
Yeah.
this girl used to be a man. You're
no, yeah,
talking about
yeah.
the actress's
Yeah, the actress
journey.
was journeyed into becoming a woman
Okay.
and got the surgeries, all that stuff. But aside from all that, into going back to Hellraiser and the lore, supposedly it was supposed to be like a woman because they they don't really have sex organs, the Cenobites. So Pinhead and all the other Cenobites, they don't have their sex organs anymore. It's almost like they got rid of them so that they wouldn't feel pleasure because the only pleasure they can feel is through pain. They
Hmm.
just like they try to reach new levels of pain, and that's their pleasure, is reaching the next level of pain. And
So maybe
so
it does work in this universe then.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I gave it a chance. I want to say it was worth it. I was not disappointed. Obviously, it's a horror movie. It has moments where it's not like cheesy, but it has moments where I'm like, these actors, like the people, the characters, not the actors themselves, the characters make like foolish decisions. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess you got to do it because otherwise, how is this going to move forward, you know? But yeah, I recommend it, especially right now around Halloween. If you're looking for something to watch, definitely watch the new Hellraiser. And speaking of Halloween, it kind of leads us to our article of the week. All right, so we got this article here. Comes from Botanica.com. It's a really simple article. Just wanted to have something lighthearted for you guys. Even though it is the month of Halloween, I figure this is an easy one to get into. And the article is titled "Why Do We Celebrate Halloween?" It's a short one, so I'm gonna just kind of go through it quickly here, read it fast. Halloween has been around for more than 1,000 years. Originally a religious observance, it became increasingly secular over the centuries until its religious trappings all but disappeared. Today, Halloween is considered a holiday for dress up, fun, and especially for children. Halloween's origins can be traced back to ancient Celtic festival known as Samhain, originally held on November 1st in contemporary calendars. It was believed that on the day, the souls of the dead returned to their homes, so people dressed in costumes and lit bonfires to ward off the spirits. In this way, popular Halloween tropes such as witches, ghosts, and goblins became associated with the holiday. Around the 7th century CE, Pope Boniface IV created All Saints' Day, and that's originally celebrated on May 13th. But then, 1 century later, in the 8th century CE, Pope Gregory III moved the holiday to November 1st, kind of as a substitute or replacement for the original pagan festival of Samhain. So the day before the saintly celebration, before November 1st, the 31st, is known as All Hallows Eve or Halloween. And so originally started in the areas of Ireland, United Kingdom, and France, it quickly spread across the world. The first American colonies in New England, they were forbidden to celebrate it, obviously because the Puritans and the other religious stuff going on there. But it was celebrated in the South. By the 1800s, there was a marking of the seasonal festival or the harvest, and they had festivals and stuff like that. Incorporated Halloween elements. Irish immigrants escaping from Ireland and escaping because of the famine brought a lot of the traditions to the U.S. that still remain here to this day. The custom of trick or treating or children dressing up in costume and getting treats from neighbors became popular in the United States during the 1900s as the Irish and Scottish communities that came from the old world came to the new world, and they brought with them the custom of guising. So a person would dress in costume, maybe tell a joke or recite a poem or perform some kind of trick in exchange for fruit or something else. And by the 1950s, trick or treating kind of became more about for kids and trading for candy, and it kind of became a popular thing around Halloween. So today, Halloween is actually one of the biggest holidays for candy, and it exceeds $2.5 billion annually. So knowing about Halloween and knowing what it means to a lot of Americans, kind of want to just go around and see what does Halloween mean to you guys.
Yeah, to me, man, I really enjoy this time of the season. Um, Maybe not as much as I used to, just because Junior is getting older. But even before that, like we mentioned during the episode, I've always been a horror fan. But it amplified when I had Junior. He was into trick or treating. We would go out, haunted houses, dress up, going and doing stuff like that. It was exciting. Now he's becoming a teenager, and now it's not as fun. He's not even trick or treating this year, so um, it's kind of changed now. Where I'm just gonna be the guy passing out the candy, waiting for some guy to knock on my door, some kid.
Like some guy just waiting to hand out candy.
Uh-huh.
Growing up, yeah, when you're a kid, it's awesome. Just do stupid shit, egg people, go get candy. The house that had good candy, you hit them up multiple times. But as you get older, yeah, I don't want to say it loses its luster, but yeah, I'm not. I mean, Halloween was cool, but I was never like really into it. I mean, unless you have kids, I got a kid now, so maybe not this year, but next year we'll see how it goes. He'll be about 1.5 years old, so we'll see how that goes, and then just go from there. But overall, I mean, when you're a kid, it's awesome. As you get older, it's just like it's something you got to do to hand out the candy, like Danny says. And like the debate is, do I just put a big bowl of fucking candy out in the stoop, or just do I let them fucking ring the doorbell? Like, which house are you gonna be, or the house that hands out pennies and pencils and shit?
Yeah, to me, if you hand out pencils, you're not the cool house, man.
you,
You're
you,
definitely not.
you have the right to get egged.
Yeah, get egged or get your house toilet paper.
Oh
TP,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you either get a
But
good treat or you get tricked, man. That's the whole point.
right, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's I used to think trick or treating it's like a big American thing, but I guess from the reference you sent from Britannica, it's big in like England and like Ireland and all that. They do it too. They're pretty into it, and because I used to think it was just like an American thing, but they're pretty into it too. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I never really understood why we do it. I know you read all that stuff to this day, but because people are into like skeletons and witches and shit, like this makes no sense to me. As a kid, I'm like, I don't know what the hell we're celebrating here. I just know I get candy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
no.
that's you don't know.
But yeah, I mean, it does have like a horror element to it, but it kind of morphed into like everything else. Like people dress up as Buzz Lightyear, Power Rangers, all sorts of stuff. So it's not just the horror stuff. But I think as I got older, it morphed into the horror stuff for me. And I dressed up as like Jason. I dressed up as like a zombie or a demon, like stuff like that. So it got as I got older, I think it got cooler for me. And I think Daniel with Junior getting older, it should evolve into something different, something maybe even better. I think sometimes we get stuck in like the past and the old memories, and we're not like receptive to change. But that doesn't mean change is gonna be bad. It could be really good. So maybe now he can start watching those horror movies with you. You can have a couple cocktails and just sit down and watch a couple of good horror movies with him now that he's older.
Yeah, I probably would, but I try not to watch too much horror stuff with him because I think at the end of the night, it'll end up with him sleeping in our bed, and and I'd rather have him sleep
Hey,
in his own bed and not get freaked out.
so now that I have a son, I be watching like ghost stories or paranormal stuff, YouTube videos, and he's like sleeping in his thing in the couch, and I'm just like, should I be like, I'm like a little paranoid, like I don't even want him hearing half of this shit that I'm watching. So because like what happens if like some entity gets stuck on him and shit, and like and he's not baptized? I'm like
Becomes the next Jeffrey Dahmer or something like
some
that.
shit like
All
that.
right.
That's why like I'm watching like the ghost stories or demon possessions, like because on Discovery Plus there's all sorts of stuff on paranormal, and like I could binge watch that shit and all day. But I'm like, now that he's there, like in the living room in the couch next to me, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear him even hearing any of this shit right now. So I just like go back to watching other stupid shit.
Hey, is Ghost Adventure still a thing? I was trying to watch an
Yeah,
episode on
yes,
whatever they're on, Hulu, or I forget
they're
what.
on Discovery Plus,
Yeah, I forget. They're on another, or at least Sling.
Travel Channel.
They're on Sling right now too. So
Yeah.
I was watching like the latest episode, and I don't know, man. It didn't seem the same as when I
Well, you can
remember
only do that
watching it
so many
like
times. Yeah.
8 years ago or whatever.
It's like, oh shit, you hear that? They get some audio, right? So, and like I said, it was cool, but I mean, it's the same. They've been doing that same formatted show. Like it keeps you intrigued, but there's like they catch a couple things here and there, and like then you're like, I'm done. He did a movie where he goes to this house in Indiana, the Zach Baggins guy or whatever, and that fucking movie, it's a documentary. That one was fucking freaky, man. I recommend that one. He does record some fucked up shit, and he has like I think he had the house demolished at the end. He bought it because people were getting all screwed up in there, and people were getting possessed.
If you want something to watch on YouTube, I recommend this guy's channel, Casper Site. He's a
Mm-hmm.
British guy. He reacts to other people's channels as well, and he reacts to like ghost videos, either random like ghost videos that are filmed on like security cameras or on the Ring camera, stuff like that, or he'll react to other people ghost hunting. And some people have like I don't know if you heard of urbex explorers. They do
Mm-hmm.
explorations in like abandoned places, and
Yeah.
so they'll have experiences and shit. So he'll react to all that, but his reactions are hilarious because we're still watching the main content, which is kind of creepy and kind of scary. But seeing him react and get scared is so funny, dude. And it's like watching it with a buddy, you know. So it's one of those things. I recommend his channels. A little shout out to Casper Site. He's a
Nice.
good guy and a good channel that I think you might
Yeah.
like.
I watch a lot of the people, paranormal investigators in Mexico, and
Yeah,
like to me, those are a little bit more real because they get
yeah.
fucking spooked for real, or like they record some fucked up shit,
Or in the
and
Middle
they and
East.
then they go into like cemeteries, and you see shit moving around. I'm like, fuck that, like,
Yeah,
I'm
or like
like, I'm
a
not going.
bruja and shit. See
Yeah,
like a
dude,
bruja over there.
yeah, they see some messed up shit, and then they get spooked and they run out of there and stuff, or but yeah, I feel like that's a little bit more. I want to say real. I don't know how this can be fake now. Everything's so fucking digitally enhanced. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, everybody likes what they like, but with the Halloween, it's the season to watch all that shit. Um, I mean, that's one of my guilty pleasures is watching stuff like that. I mean, year round, but on Halloween, I know they throw more content on there because it's Halloween. So,
Yeah, I was driving home yesterday from doing some grocery shopping, and as I took like the back road to get into my house, and as I'm driving down, I'm watching because my neighbors, for some reason, they're really into Halloween. They got like all these decorations on their houses, and as I'm driving, I see like this clown standing there. But I swear, man, because I only glanced at it. I swear that it was just another decoration that because I was just looking back and forth as I'm driving. And then I noticed that this clown is pivoting and churning because it was like almost on the corner to the direction that I was driving, like constantly staring at me. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I go to Alana, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, it's a real kid. And Alana's just like, oh, you saw that too? I was just staring at it. And I'm like, holy shit, it's looking at us.
You're like, why
and
didn't you
so
say something?
and so we shouted to Junior, did you see that? And he's like oblivious. He's like listening to his tunes on his iTunes or whatever. He's like, well, what's going on? I'm like, dude, there's a clown just standing out there in the corner. I thought it was like a lawn decoration, but it's just some kid standing there. And yeah, sure enough, man, Junior wanted to see it so bad that I pulled into a driveway and I turned around and I started driving back. But by the time I drove back, the kid was starting to walk. So I'm like, man, how long has he been just standing there waiting for like the perfect car to pass by so he can creep him out?
You remember we did an episode on a couple years back before the
Yeah,
pandemic on
yeah.
the clown fucking
Yeah,
shit
that
that was going on.
pandemic where they were just popping up everywhere on ring cams and whatnot.
And like
when
people just
it
like
came out.
walking around and they see clowns and stuff. Like it was like crazy like that summer into the fall and then it just stopped.
Yeah, that's
It's
how it was.
the movie It.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie It, and there was another movie that came out around that time that was shot as kind of like a docu-series where it followed like this clown that you can hire to scare your kid.
Yes. Yes.
And,
Yeah,
and then
that's right.
yeah, and then that clown would show up at your house, scare your kid, and be like, "See, because you're a bad kid, this like bozo clown would come over to your house and just stare at your house." And it was creeping kids out, and they made like a docu-series out of it. And I don't know how much of it was real to begin with, but yeah, it was really creepy. And
If
I started watching it with Junior, and he got really creeped out, and he's
if
just
I
like, I don't want to
rem-
watch it.
if I remember correct, that was in Florida, right?
It was like a warmish weather because that
I
supposedly, if it was real, I doubt it. It's probably
yeah.
all made up. But the guy's premise was, he's like, this is what I do for a living. He's like, I pass out, I put stickers everywhere, and parents call me and tell me, hey, my
Yeah.
kid's being bad. Can you come over here and scare him?
I remember seeing that on something on like the news or something, and I just remember Florida. I'm like, of course, it's always fucking Florida with this weird shit. Like it never fucking fails.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. Hey, did you hear about that, Noel, or see that?
Not the docu series, no, but that sounds funny, man. That sounds cool. That
It
you
was
can
called
hire a clown to do it.
Wrinkles the
Yes.
Clown. Wrinkles the Clown. It was pretty cool. I think it's on Netflix, and it's just like this funny and creepy documentary. It's kind of like a Blair Witches kind of style, where you don't know if it's fake or real kind of thing, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool watching it.
Yeah, I mean, staying on the clown thing. Did you know they made a game, Attack of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space? They made like a console game for that. You know that, like that
Right,
movie
right.
from the '80s. Like I was watching the trailer, it looked pretty real, but I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years. I'm like, I don't even remember. I just remember a big tent comes down and these fucking clowns come out in a small town and everybody starts fighting with them. You have to shoot them
Right.
in the nose or something and they die.
I don't think I've ever even seen the
Oh
movie or
damn!
nothing.
Knowing how you are, dude, that I don't think it's gonna hold up. It's like '80s
Yeah, it's got
rubber
that.
shit.
It's got
Yeah,
a Citizen Kane vibe going off on it. I don't
nah,
want to watch that.
that's an American classic, man. You know,
I don't want to watch that old shit, man.
that's one that deserves to get a 4K remaster. Pull out the original film and go cell by cell and master the shit out of it. But yeah, I
What
mean
was so
that I
horrifying
saw
about
that
that
the
is
other
just
day, and I'm
no, I think what was so horrifying about Citizen Kane is just the amount of time you waste watching that shit.
it's like you said, Noah, that you know that what a popcorn flick is. That's not a popcorn flick. That's American cinema at its finest. You guys can't appreciate that shit. You're watching Jason. You got a movie where Jason goes to space in 2K, bro. I mean that does sound good, man, but you know, it doesn't hold up to Citizen Kane.
I don't know, man. I think Jason give Citizen Kane a run for his money, you know.
Maybe it might be in a. I'll give it this. It might be a top 10 in American cinema, not film cinema. But with that being said, we got to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for listening. Remember, you can follow Freeform Network on Twitter at Freeform Network. Send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. Let us know what you guys think about the Friday the 13th franchise and what do you guys do for Halloweens. Send it all at ffnquestions@gmail.com. Uh, don't forget to go to our webpage, freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There you'll see all our links to all the platforms we're on. Some are gone, some are new, some got merged. But if you go to our webpage, every platform that's available that is up, it'll let you know what we're available on. YouTube, our standard iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify. We're on all the major ones. But if you are, whatever platform, like, subscribe, and comment on that because that helps us out immensely. For Freeform Radio, we got Danny.
Yes, sir. Go out there, enjoy yourself, and go Bears, man. We're going for a win today.
And we got Noel.
Hey, thank you for listening. Have a good Halloween, and just be safe out there. Don't miss out on all the good horror movies coming out this month.
And it's all good, Andy. We want to thank you for listening. We hope you guys have a good Halloween. And you guys get some good candy and be careful. And we'll catch you guys next time.
That was cool, Dad.